What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Mike and Matt Bodybuilding Show. I'm solo today because my boy couldn't make it, but we're on location in Henderson, Nevada at the Iron House Gym, and I got two IFBB pros in the house, and I'm going to work it like this. This is Katrinka Chapek, IFBB Pro, and I still screwed up the last name.
Here, let me get it. Katrinka Chapek.
Thanks, Mark. And Big Mark Byers in the house. Both recent pros. We're going to talk a little bit about what got them to where they're at now, what's going on next, when we're going to see them on stage. So with no further ado, guys, thank you for giving me your time. I appreciate it very much. So let's talk ladies first. I didn't even know these guys were IFBB pros, so I feel completely embarrassed. Generally, we like to lay that red carpet down, so again, I apologize for that.
It's okay.
So both you guys recently turned pro.
Yes.
You turned pro at the USA's last year.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about turning pro,
Okay.
how many shows that we took at the national level to get there,
Okay.
and then how was that feeling like, because I'm sure you guys both have stood on stage where you're standing there and it's 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And you're nervous, you're racking, you've been sitting during that lunchtime, or that break there waiting to see, hey, I was in the first calls, I didn't get moved, they put me in the center.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So I actually started off as a figure competitor back in 2007.
Okay.
Never done a show in my life. Just a little, gym girl wanting just to give myself a challenge. So I jumped right into the Emerald Cup in 2007.
Oh, you did?
First show ever, just went for it. And I took 7. And I was like, heck yeah, I can do better. So, next year did it again, and I actually did worse.
So you've done the Emerald Cup twice?
I've done the Emerald Cup like 5 times.
Well, that's my neighborhood. I'm actually from Spokane, and so it's funny, I've done the Emerald Cup a few times myself, and if anybody's gone up there and done it, it's probably one of the hardest amateur shows on the West Coast, period. It's basically going to do a national show. So when you're scoring up there and you're laying in good placings, it's a good testament of where you're going to sit at the national stage. So
I took first at the Emerald Cup finally in 2009 as a figure competitor. But then things kind of started changing in the MC, and they wanted the figure girls kind of being smaller and softer, and they opened up this new division for women's physique. So I hold a lot of muscle, and I'm like, I'm gonna give it a shot. So I started training this guy and some folks from California, Matt and Wendy Fortino. And Matt Allen and Wendy Fortino with Cyber Body Shop, and basically I went to physique A class is what I decided to do.
Right.
Some short little thing. Went to San Jose, took the overall in physique at that show, which was awesome, and then I went to Pennsylvania, took 3rd, just missed my pro card by 1 spot, and that was, like you said, devastating because you work so hard, you diet for so many damn months with no cheat meals and no alcohol, and you're ready
you're 1 spot away.
You're 1 spot away. So I'm like, I can do this. And so we flew back here to Vegas, which I just moved here last year, 6 months ago.
Nice.
And USA's was a week later, so I jumped on stage and took first at the USA's.
Congratulations.
For a pro card.
So it worked out better anyways.
Well, and that's the hardest show.
Instead of getting a pro card in the 2nd place position at Pittsburgh or possibly first, she
ended up getting her
the biggest
first
show possible in the USA.
Right.
So it's a great
It's a great accomplishment. What I want to ask you is, and this will go for other girls that are out there right now, in that transition period of going from figure up to the women's physique, what would you recommend, or I should ask you this, what was the biggest challenge moving up?
The biggest challenge for me, honestly, I didn't want to get rid of my heels. So I am short, and short girls like to have their heels.
Not worried about adding any muscle or anything else.
Because I already
it's all about
have
the
some
shoes.
muscle up on the shoes. But honestly, once I got over that fear, it was also the posing. It was totally different.
Right.
Figure, they just have their quarter turns. The physique girls, we gotta do the,
right.
front double bicep,
right. You guys have some
side chest.
And you got a routine as well.
You got a routine, and that was
music,
also something I had to overcome a little fear of, is getting out there in front of that stage all on my own, no other side horse, in a minute.
Right.
Then once I embraced it, I was like in love. I love it.
Right.
You work your ass off for how many months to do a show? Go rock that stage, own it for that minute you have. Own it while you're posing, and that's where your personality
Well, it's
comes out.
funny that you say that too, because I say that to everybody. When you're out there, you work your butt off. That's where, to me, when I'm getting ready to get on stage, that is where I turn it on, man.
Right.
Because not only have you worked so hard to get up there, and I think what we've gotten away from in at least in bodybuilding is people taking that posing routine a little bit seriously, you know, and,
Yes.
and actually making it looking like a professional, you know. And I think at the higher NPC levels, at that national level, and as a pro, you got to act like you're a pro, you know, because I mean, it just exemplifies what you're supposed to be doing in this sport beyond just lifting weights.
Absolutely. So that was challenging. I embraced it and I loved it. Got the pro card, so you know, I was on cloud 9 all last summer. I was so happy. And
So now that you're a pro, obviously the next question would be is when are you getting on stage next?
all right. So I don't want to wait too long. My goal was to jump on stage sometime this year. I had some shows in mind, but life happens.
Yes.
You know, I'm working 2 jobs right now. I got this big boy right here with me, and so we're living life and enjoying it. And I want to put on some muscle, and you know, I've been evaluating the physique girls, and they are big girls.
They are big.
They're not little.
Well, what's going on as far as what we can see this year so far, it's only, what, April?
Right.
But what's going on is that, you know, they're trying to weed out women's bodybuilding.
Right.
Which pretty much they have. But what's going on is the bikini girls are starting to look like figure girls. The figure girls are starting to look like the
You're
physique
right,
girls.
Mark.
And the physique girls are starting to look like
that evolution is going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because it's kind of like, and you guys have been around long enough that you've seen, when they dial it back like that, it ends up moving up forward anyways, because everybody wants, to me, the body wants to progress, and so you can only hold it back for so long. You can change the divisions, but you can't change the progression of what the human body wants to do.
I mean, you got women's bikini and the girls have veins in their stomach. I mean, so it's definitely changed. So with that being said, this is a good time for us to evaluate the physique girls that are going on right now.
Right.
And then we'll probably put her on at the end of the year.
Right.
And know what they're looking for.
Right.
Because we don't want to bring her in too hard or too soft. Or, you know.
And I think that's still one of the biggest questions right now in the sport, is trying to define what it is that they're looking for.
Right.
Because we go to, as a show, we do a lot of the media and stuff at the shows, and we're at the judging tables. And a lot of times when we get into the figure, the physiques, and you know, I'm questioning, like, what is it that they're looking for? There just seems to me a big inconsistency between the local, the national, and then the pro stage. As far as once that pro level goes there, to me, it's like there's a ton difference in terms of the muscle and the size at every level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially with the women too, as they get older, it's just like men, the muscle maturity.
Right.
So it is different. It's actually harder. If you're over 35 and you're competing as a female or a male, it's harder than the younger.
Right.
So you're right. It's a learning lesson, and we only have one time to do our pro debut, so we're really gonna focus, watch, and then bring her in, and we'll be ready.
Well, and the one I'm hearing from you guys is you're going to pick and choose the right show. And we talk about that a lot, is even at the amateur level, the pro level, there's a lot of shows out there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're ready yet, or that you're ready to go against that particular lineup.
Yes.
Do your homework. Wouldn't you guys agree at any level? Pick and choose, because you're limited on how many shows you can truly do.
Absolutely, and then myself being 42 years of age, going to be 43 soon, so I'm very limited. I know that, and my goal as a pro is to one day I want to stand next to Dennis Wolf.
Right.
Because I'm big, I'm tall, I'm 275 pounds.
Right.
That's what he weighs on stage, and to me it'd be an honor to stand next to him. Now the only way that's going to happen is obviously I have to win a show.
Right.
So I have a lot of work to do, so therefore I just came off an injury. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No, you're fine. It's actually a perfect segue in. Mark Byers, just recent pro at the Masters Nationals in 2012, correct, Mark?
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about about your journey to getting your pro card. I mean, at 42, 43 years old, you've been in this sport for a while now.
Yes, yeah. Real quick background on myself is that I was a football player. I played a little bit in Detroit and the Niners, and I got hurt. So I tell people NFL stands not for long. So, which it does. But with that being said, I enjoyed bodybuilding and weight training and lifting, and I kept going on with it. Then my father asked me in 2007, son, once you get back on stage, you got a body of a Greek god, and you don't do anything with it.
Right.
And I said, all right. So I did, and unfortunately my dad died of a heart attack on Valentine's Day, like 3 months before the show. So I dedicated my first comeback after 18 years off. The last time I competed, I was 18 years old.
Oh, really?
I took 18 years off, came back at 36, and I did the San Jose, and I won the overall, which was awesome. It was like...
Well, I looked at some of your picks, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. I looked at some of your picks. Yeah, I've seen a lot of trophies. I've seen a lot of hands being raised. I've seen great conditioning, a big dude, balanced body and physique. What do you think that you have to do to bring a package that's going to be competitive on that at the IFBB level.
Well, that's just it. With that being said, I was an athlete my whole life, not a bodybuilder.
Right.
I'm not a meathead, and I don't want to ever be known as that.
Sure.
So I can still play football, you know, basketball, any sport you put out there, I can do.
Sure.
I'm in a softball league right now.
Right.
So.
After a couple technical difficulties, we're back by popular demand. We just got done talking just a little bit. Mark and I were talking about when he's going to compete again. It's going to be sometime in 2015. But more importantly, we're talking about intaking food, what it truly takes to be a bodybuilder at any level. And when you don't think that you think that you're eating enough, but you're not growing, guess what? You're probably not eating enough.
Yeah, it's a simple mathematical formula. It's input versus output. Input, more food, output, less. Meaning
Exactly.
we're going to gain the weight. So, yeah, for everybody out there, everyone's different. It's unique. Everybody has different metabolisms. You know, certain proteins might work better with you. Like I got funny stomach problems, so I stay away from certain foods.
And I think that it's interesting too that you say about digestive stuff, because that's a big thing that you hear. Do you guys work with other people too? Like, do you have clients and stuff like that?
Yes.
Since we just talk about that, you know, I work with a lot of people, and you know, that's the kind of thing that I set them up for. You're gonna have this, or expect that. What do you tell women or men when they're having issues with digesting the food or the protein or any, you know?
Well, the biggest thing that I find with my clients is that they get on the shake kicks. You know, everyone wants to do protein shakes.
Right.
And to me, that is emergency only. I don't put my clients on shakes. I always have them eat real food, because that makes your metabolism work harder at digesting. So,
again, I hate to interrupt you,
no,
man.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what I got that message that I was telling you from that kid, and that's what he had. 3 big 1,600 calorie shakes. I'm like, that's not real food. I gave him a meal plan because, like yourself, I work with Dusty Hanshaw, and we have no shakes. It's always been all food. You know what I mean? I don't even know what a shake is. I have so much shakes that I have so much protein powder, I don't know what to do with it. But like you said, wouldn't you say, Mark, that if you want to grow, especially as a male, you got to eat more solid and animal proteins, whole foods and animal proteins.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, and, you know, as far as especially male, you know, you have steak 3-4 times a week. You know, the women doesn't digest as well, so maybe once or twice a week. I usually use salmon with the meat. Sure. Get the good fats that way. But yeah, absolutely. And another little trick about the protein most people don't know is everyone puts a protein in the little shaker, and they sit there and they shake the shit out of it. Number one, it breaks down the protein.
Right.
And number two, think about all those bubbles you just shoot as you're drinking. That's why you always get bubble guts. You get bubble guts. So what we do is, if you're going to use a shake, is you put your scoop of protein in there, and if it asks for like 12 ounces of water, go half. And then slow stir it with a spoon, and then eat it like pudding, and you won't have the digestive problems. So that's a little
tip right there.
Little tip for you guys.
Little tip from the pro, man.
So try that next time. So once again, slow stir it, and then eat it like a pudding versus shaking it and drinking it really fast.
That's a good point. I've never tried that.
It's good.
You guys are both personal training people? Or you do one?
I am. That's what I do for a living.
Okay. Where can people, since we're talking about that, where can people contact you if they want to get a hold of you here? Get a hold of some personal training?
Yes, and I do online as well. I appreciate that. I work at LBAC on 215 in Eastern in Las Vegas, Henderson. I can also be reached at my online store. I have a new product I just launched this week. Cool. I got a fat burner and a pre-workout.
Oh, nice.
And you can go to www.ifbbpromarkbyers.com.
Perfect.
And you can go online, and it basically, if your stimulants aren't working and you're used to them, you're complacent, these are the ones that everyone's using now to go to the next level.
Right.
They're that strong, that good. And the pre-workout's pretty much niacin based.
Right.
Just to let you guys know.
You're going to feel it.
Yeah, you'll be itching and feeling, but it's a good feeling.
Very nice. And the other thing I talk about a lot in this sport is we all stand on stage as individuals, but it's never an individual sport. You have to have a good base of people around you. Who is it that you would like to thank that's gotten you up to this point?
Absolutely. So I'm from Oregon, and she's basically been there since day one. Mary Wilhite, just an amazing woman. She's like my mom, so thank you so much. I love her.
Mary.
Thanks, Mary. Yes, she's our backbone. That's for sure.
She's incredible. I mean, I would not be here honestly without her. And then definitely this guy right here. He's just been phenomenal for me.
Big man.
Big man. He has been there through some really hard times. So.
Well, let me ask you guys this: being that you guys are a couple and you're, you know, we both know dieting and all those things that go with that, and how we can get irritable and those kind of things. How do you guys deal with one another? Is that an easy or a difficult task?
She likes to go on jogs sometimes with the dogs, and I'm glad she does.
Yeah, so she'd take her personal time away.
Yeah, so you got to remember, folks, we had a long distance relationship for a year,
right?
Oregon and California, and we just moved here about 8 months ago and just landed in the same house. So that takes a lot of adjustment too. Not to mention the first month we were here in a 1-bedroom, 600 square foot home with 5 animals.
And Mark's almost 600 square feet.
And I didn't have my own bathroom or restroom. I'm so used to being a bachelor. It was a really stressful situation. So within a month, we moved into a larger 2-bedroom. I got my own bathroom. And
you could breathe again.
So I could breathe. And now we're actually going to be moving into a house in about another 3 months. So things are progressing in a good way.
Good.
We're going to learn to know each other, you know.
Well, relationships are difficult no matter what, and then you combine competing on top of it, and it's a whole nother ball game. And again, I say this once and twice and probably 3 times, it's probably why I'm single, and it works out the best for me. You know, I don't want to take up too much more of these guys' time. They're busy, they're rushing around, but you know, look for these guys to jump on stage. They're right here, their hometown. We've got IFBB pros, not only freaking Las Vegas, we got California, we've got Arizona. This whole West Coast is blowing up, man. We're putting out some of the top athletes in the world.
And I also want to thank one of my sponsors, Blown Gear, as you can see right here. We're from California-based company from San Jose, where I'm from, and they've been doing it for over 20 years. They're back in business again.
Do they have a website?
It's blowngear.com.
Blowngear.com?
Yep, and you can buy all the guys, girls, great clothing line.
Awesome.
So once again, thank you very much for having us.
Hey guys, I appreciate it. For Mark,
and Katrinka.
For Kat, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to the Kat thing. You guys know I ain't screwing it up 3 times. Mike Best, the Mike and Matt Bodybuilding Show on location. Check out the interviews, guys. We appreciate you. Thank you.